Hey y'all, how's it going? Hope everybody's doing really good. It's been a while since I've done a video. Anyway, today I thought I would show you some of the process how I go through or what I go through for making an axe for my customers that I consider heavy hitters. Heavy hitters are guys that just do this every day, and there's no holding back. And they're in a lot of hardwood consistently, and they need something reliable. And so we're going to be making an axe for a heavy hitter, and we'll go from there. I'll just sort of give you an overview of the process. So we're almost at the shop, and yeah, we'll meet you at the shop. Okay, well, here we are, and here we are. Looks like a hickory tree blew out in front of the shop, but anyway, this is where it all starts. This is where we hand split, and where all the hand split blanks come from, right here at the shop. We buy stuff in tree form, and then we cut it up and we split out individual staves. So let's go in and see what we see. We still go through the same air drying process. A stave will sit around in a controlled environment for a year at least. Anyway, let's go over and check out. We've got, so these are our prime hand splits. And there's more of them, but these are the ones that I've picked out to be in the shop for now. The ends are sealed, but these are all hand split with wedges, series of wedges, and so then we go from there. So let's see, what are we going to pick out for this particular axe? And this particular tree is this tree is 2 years old. So I think we're plenty dry. I like this one. Okay. This one looks pretty good. And let's see if we can see some grain, but we've got our grain. You probably can't see it on the camera, but the grain is literally straight up and down. So basically, when you're splitting, what you're doing is you're splitting around the hardwood. You're only using sections of the tree. And I'll tell you what, I will take you out to a couple that I had split and then got busy and haven't had much time left to process. Well, here we are at a piece that's basically been split in half. And you can see right here, sapwood and then heartwood. And if this was fresh cut, you would see this as coming up darker and this would be lighter. So this is actually split naturally, checked out naturally, probably close to the way I would want it. This would be a smaller blank for straighter handles, but basically we would split this, and we'd split this, and then we would split out that heartwood for each section that we just split. And that's going to give us an extremely strong handle, and it's going to retain flexibility because it's air dried, and we're not cooking the water out of it, which is generally what happens in a kiln. that when you heat the water, the lignin and the water, the lignin is what glues all of these rings together. When you heat that, you chemically alter it, and it definitely changes the chemical structure of the wood. So that's what well, here we are at the bandsaw. We're set up. We have our little sled. We're not resawing for furniture. We're resawing rough lumber with this. So I'm not going to great lengths to, you know, make a fancy jig for rough sawn lumber. If I was cutting, you know, 1/8 inch pieces, I'd set up a fence and all that stuff. But basically, take a straight edge and make yourself a straight line, or as straight as you can get, and then run it. Okay, not too shabby. Okay. Once you get a flat side, you're home free. And I cannot stress enough being able to push this thing, having support back here. You try to do this without a roller or a table, you're going to have problems.
not too bad. That's a fine looking piece of wood. Now, we're square. We have two square sides. We're gonna go back to the joiner. So let's take a look at this board, or billet that's becoming a board. This is two passes through the joiner. Here we have a little bit left of the split. Here we have our bandsaw marks, and then the rest of this is cutter marks from the joiner. So it is possible, if your bandsaw is set up well, and that's why I have several videos of bandsaw maintenance and whatnot, but it is possible to freehand this and be very accurate. Because in a matter of 20 minutes, we're gonna have a piece of lumber. Now, after resawing and the joiner, and then back to a little resawing and back to the joiner, we have two surfaces that we can work with. Not bad. So, since we know these two surfaces are square, we're going to run this edge through the table saw. But first, we're going to lay out our blank just to make sure we don't mess ourselves up and we're too thin at one end or whatever. So, let me shut this machinery down and we'll go through the mindset or the thought process of this. All right, well, let's look at this billet first. Soon to be lumber. Look at this grain. Beautiful. And we're darn near vertical grain. When you split it out, you're pretty much assured of that. So there's no guesswork as to whether a piece of timber or lumber, a piece of timber, I should say, is going to be right. And you can already see the wood fibers. You don't even have to look at wood grain, but you can see the wood fibers. They're straight. All right, here we have the table saw set up. And all we're going to do is we're just going to buzz this side off, and then I'll have three sides that are in relationship to each other. This side and this side will be parallel, and they'll both be squared to this bottom edge. First, we're going to take our master pattern, and we're going to look at this. The first thing we're going to look at is the palm swell, and see we barely have enough for our palm swell, because the handle's going to go like this, right? We're right on it. not going to be too bad. We are a little narrower down here than we are up there, but that's okay. There we have it. We now have a piece of lumber. All right, let's look at this. Real old, slow-growing tree. Hand split, air dried, and you've got all of these grow rings going straight through the handle, up through the eye. That's a real strong handle. All right, so 2 hours to go from hand split billet to handle ready to be shaped to its final shape, rough shape and final shape. That's ready for the 2x72. And the reason that you try to get square and flat is you see my layout lines here, see my Sharpie line. So everything on the handle is parallel. Otherwise, you'll be fighting that. And then the second point is from here to here, pretty much all of those grow rings or lines run all the way through the handle. So there you go. Have a good one. We'll catch you all later.